Police have virtually cleared the scene of last night's cash-in-transit heist at Nongoma in northern KwaZulu-Natal. South African Police Service's national spokesperson, that's Brigadier Vish Naidoo, has confirmed that an intelligence-led operation resulted in the deaths of 7 suspects and 2 police officers from the Special Task Force and Crime Intelligence. Well, a bullet-ridden BMW, the only evidence of a shootout during last night's cash-in-transit heist here. Children scoured the area today in the hope of finding some banknotes. A second bullet-ridden vehicle was towed away. Now, there's speculation among some community members that the occupants were not involved in the heist, but unfortunately got caught in the fatal police shootout. Police, however, would not confirm this for us. Right, now for an update, we're joined on the line, I guess, by Brigadier Vish Naidoo. He's the spokesperson for the National Commissioner. Good afternoon, Brigadier, and welcome to the SABC News Desk.
A very good afternoon, Keshni, and thank you for this opportunity.
Brigadier, just bring us up to speed on the Nongoma case right now.
Well, so far the status quo remains since I've issued a media statement this morning where we unfortunately lost 2 of our police officers, and where a 3rd police officer was wounded and is currently being treated in hospital after she sustained a gunshot wound to her leg. But also during the skirmish, 7 suspects were shot and killed. We recovered 4 AK-47 rifles, as well as a BMW that was being used by the suspects during the robbery, which BMW I have also confirmed earlier that we believe was used in multiple robberies in the Nongoma area, with the latest one being on a shell garage in the recent past.
We understand that police officers were acting on a tip-off, Vish. Can you elaborate on that one a little bit more for us?
Well, the police, obviously, our crime intelligence unit gathered intelligence that there was going to be this robbery taking place, but didn't know exactly where it was going to happen. The cash vehicle was traveling from its pickup point to Nongoma when, of course, at one point in SABC Road, to be more specific, in KwaNongoma, when that cash-in-transit vehicle was attacked. Our members responded. It was members from crime intelligence as well as from the our special task force. And that's when there was an exchange of gunfire, which resulted in the killing of those 7 suspects and as well as our police officers.
Vish, that white BMW in question, some community members alleging that those people were actually bystanders and not involved in the heist at all. What can you tell us?
Well, remember the investigation into this case is still in its very early stages. We believe that it was a BMW used by the suspects. We're standing by that. If anybody has other information, I think it's important for them to contact the investigation team, which in this case we would have also, in a situation of this nature, we would have afforded the opportunity to the Independent Police Investigative Director to investigate, because in all cases where there happens to be shooting of suspects, the Independent Police Investigative Directorate is called to the scene, and they would make a decision as to whether they're going to investigate the case or not. So there is that independent body. They're more than welcome to take that information to them. But so far, as I said, we are still in our preliminary stages of the investigation, and this is what information we have at this point in time.
Vish, what are the protocol or rules that police officers must follow when in a situation like this, and how do they assess who is actually participating in the crime and who is just a bystander?
Well, obviously, every case will be treated on its own merit. There's no prescribed way. There are standard operational procedures which we follow, but that when skirmishes like this happen, especially when in built-up areas, in shopping centers, and so forth, our police officers are trained to target those that are the actual assailants. So that's basically how it is, and this is training that our police officers undergo. I don't want to go into too much of details into this because it can be extremely compromising. It can pose a security threat for our members, but there's adequate training for our members to be able to deal with situations of this nature.
All right, Vish, cash in transit heists are becoming something of a South African speciality, and the risk is becoming higher and higher that innocent people will fall prey to these kind of criminals and bystanders will get hurt. What are the do's and don'ts should one be caught up in a situation like this to get yourself and perhaps your family or your children out alive?
Before I go to the do's and don'ts, I just want to quickly highlight the fact that if you recall, in May last year, we were being plagued by these cash in transit heists until the Minister of Police and the National Commissioner of Police implemented the national intervention operations to curb it, and we've curbed it significantly. But still, for us, it's a real concern. I mean, one incident like this is one too many, and you are quite right that it poses a serious risk and danger to innocent people of our community. So what we saying to our communities is, especially with these cash in transit vehicles, where there's pickups taking place, where there's drop-offs taking place, also en route, try to avoid being close to these vehicles, because these vehicles are indeed targets. We found that not necessarily with CITs where the vehicles are traveling with cash, but more especially now that they're picking cash up at service stations, at shopping malls and so forth. Try and steer clear from them. They do not take too long to pick up this money or drop off the money. They also have standard operational procedures where they do it in as quickly as possible, so as to not expose the community, shoppers, or whatever the case might be, to any life-threatening situation. But we're saying to people, stay away from them. If they notice anything suspicious, contact the police, the 10111 number, which is a rapid response, the flying squad number, or if anybody has any information that may assist us to prevent such attacks from taking place, information that can be communicated to us in advance, they can communicate it to our 086 00 10111 number. All information will be treated in strictest confidence, and people making the call may remain anonymous.
Well, that was Brigadier Vish Naidoo coming to us on the line there from KwaZulu-Natal. Thank you, Brigadier.